Hey, how do you do? I'm Ruth399 and this is the GTA 5 chat show doing a bit of a screenshot breakdown, and that's what we're going to do today because, right, I want to do it on a bigger scale. I've not really done anything special to thank you chappies for hitting 3,200 subs now it is. So I figured I'm going to do something a bit different. Well, not different, just more of what I normally do. And instead of just breaking down one screenshot, I'm going to break down, I think I've got 4 here, okay? And these are by request. I sent out on Twitter, Ruth399 at Ruth399 if you want to get hold of me, or hashtag 399yuppie. I said, give me a few screenshots, I'll break them down. And what we got here was quite a few, a nice bit of a selection. Some I've done in the past before, but very, very briefly. So we had the one of the mountain here. We had the one of Trevor on a quad going into some kind of little town or something. Bit of a car chase, race type thing. Perhaps somebody stealing something. And a different perspective of one of the leisure screenshots, I believe it was. One of the very first screenshots we got of GTA 5 with this one. And this is kind of a different outlook on it. It's quite nice, very good. We're going to go in turns and break these down, which I think was quite cool. So, beginning with this first mountain, okay? From what I understand, we have been told that a lot of the mountains or hills that we come across are fully scalable. You can go up them. I've heard Mount Chiliad you can actually climb up, or whatever you want to call it. You can climb it, it's fully explorable and what have you. That, I think, is terrain that you can, I don't know, use a bike to go up, a quad bike perhaps. Maybe you can climb up it and, literally climb up it like rock climbing and whatever. That would be interesting to see. I think that's going to be one of the areas, because you can see on the left there you've got another hill, and on the right you've got an extension of that hill we've already got there. I'm going to call it a hill because it is like it's a small mountain, big hill, whatever you want to call it. Left hand side there we've of course got, a little beaten dirt track. I'm not entirely sure where it's going to, but you can kind of see that there is a bridge in the middle of that thing, where it's just coming down by the hill. There is a bridge going off over there, so maybe, just maybe, this goes through the mountain. Would you think? I don't know. Although, I think the more likely aspect is you're going around here, you get on that bridge, you go across, and you just come out on the other side. Maybe you just ride over. I don't know. Interesting. What do you think, though? That's one of the interesting parts of this screenshot. We've not, it would be interesting to see if you can go through one of the mountains. Don't you think? On the right-hand side here, of course, we've got water, and I've got to admit, Rockstar do a brilliant job with the water in this game. From what I've seen, anyway, it just looks brilliant. The reflections, the lighting, the textures have been done right. I'd like to see it in motion. I'd like to see it animated as well. It would be really interesting to see how good quality that looks. There are a couple of trucks on the left-hand side there. Well, they look like trucks. The first one looks like a truck anyway. The other two maybe are just kind of, normal cars. But either way, it's a nice screenshot. It is very nice. So one of the points I want you to take away from it is, are we going to be able to drive through that mountain? It looks like you could. In fact, maybe it's not a bridge for cars. Perhaps it's a train track. In fact, I don't know. If you zoom in a little bit, I wonder if... I was trying to work out if that is a train coming out of there, but I don't think it is. Anyway, let's move on to the next screenshot, which is, of course, Trevor on his beautiful quad. Oh, man. I want to know what he's doing here, because he's obviously doing this here jump, and he's putting the pedal to the metal, if you ask me. He's going quite quickly. Where's he going, though? In fact, I think he's going to go and get something from somewhere. Maybe he's staying in that motel and he's going to get his gun, or he's going to get something. Maybe he's there to go and get somebody that he knows is there, and he's going to go and have him done. Who knows? Maybe he's just fucking about. Knowing Trevor, he's the kind of guy just to go absolutely apeshit for no reason. So it's quite possible he's had this quad bike and he's having a bit of, he's having fun. He's going to cause some havoc somewhere. You can actually see a camper van there, look on the left hand side. That is interesting. Although it looks more like a bloody space shuttle. Yeah. Nice camper van. I don't think we've seen that very much in GTA before. I think it might have been in San Andreas, but I can't remember. Very nice either way. Where are we? I don't know where the hell we are in terms of where we are on the map or what this area is, but again, you can see across all of the top of the image, you can see that is... there are paths going up on that mountain. You can see on the right-hand side, just by Trevor's back there, near that telegraph pole, there are dirt tracks going up there. So maybe he's just going up there for a bit of fun. I think there are a few houses dotted about up there as well. You can kind of see that shed-type looking thing, that big shed. and even above that again you can see those white dots. They might be houses, but it is an interesting screenshot either way. Sorry if you heard a bit of vibration, that's my phone. Next up, like I said, we've got the two cars here. Now, this one is interesting. I think that one on the right hand side is definitely a Aston Martin. You can see the wings there, right? You can see the wings. That is trademark. If you ask me, I might be wrong. I want to be bold and say that that is definitely an Aston Martin of some kind. I couldn't tell you what model it is, although, why are there flames coming out of that exhaust? Do you think that there's going to be NOS in the game? I'd like to think so. Can't tell who's driving the car, it's a bit too dark. I'd like to say it's going to be Franklin though, because obviously he's a bit of a motorhead. On the left hand side, I'd like to say that is it's an Audi, isn't it? That is the logo for Audi, I believe so. Very nice car. You can see it's designed differently to the, Rockstar have put a lot of effort into this by the looks of it. So that, if you ask me, they've designed the cars well so that you don't want to, or don't have the need to want to customize it yourself, because it already looks lovely. I can't tell where we are. We're obviously in a bit of a city place there. You can see what looks to be a phone box on the right hand side. There are apartments and office buildings dotted across the front of the thing here, but there are still palm trees. I don't know, how that happens, but either way, that's quite cool. Do you like that screenshot? Oh, what about NOS? Do you think we're going to have NOS in the game? Finally, obviously last but not the least important, we've got this here little, I don't know what you'd call it, ravine maybe? Little, mountain crossover point, I don't bloody know. Either way, there is a parachute there. I think it's Franklin on the parachute, I do. It's possible that it's Trevor, maybe, because he's the type of guy that might do that. And also, if you remember, this has actually been seen animated in the second trailer. I shan't bring it up for you, because I never seem to get that transition right. But either way, it's where the two trains kind of collide. Now, I don't understand why that might happen. But can you see when I said a moment ago that there's a possibility that you could drive through that mountain? Well, there is a hole there, so it's almost plausible to say that it's possible to get on a train and go through the side of the mountain into somewhere else. I think we're going to be able to, not just passenger trains, I think we're going to be able to get around on all trains just by jumping on the back of them and going somewhere else in the city. I think if it's a very large map, you're going to need a form of transport which isn't just a taxi or whatever. A few people complain about the map being so big, but for the last few games you've had the option of getting into a taxi and fast tracking. You're just there any moment, it's just like in a few seconds you are where you want to be. Liberty City's map wasn't even that big. You could get across it in about 5 minutes, I think. It was quite nice. It depends on how you drive and what car you're taking, but if you want to just get across, I think this is going to be one of those options where you can just get on the back and off you go. Yeah, I think these are, quite interesting. A lot of the screenshots I've seen of GTA 5 have had me interested in one way or another. I really do think they are very nice, and they show quite a bit, and if you use a bit of imagination you can kind of build up a picture as to what the game's going to be like without going too crazy. I'd like to think that everything I've suggested to you in this video has been plausible, possible, likely, right? So, what do you think about them? I want to thank you again for 3,000 subscribers. I really didn't think I'd make it so quickly. I mean, I only hit 2,500 a few weeks back. But the goal, I guess, was to hit 3K by the end of January. We got there halfway before the deadline. Now, I don't like to make it sound like I'm all interested about figures. I'm interested in it, but I'm more interested in the people that make those figures up. So, those that leave comments, those that leave likes, those that do whatever, get involved with what I'm about, what I do. Get on Twitter at Ruth399, like I said, and there'll be a link to the Facebook and what have you in the description. Get involved. I mean, I'm always, saying, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that? So, come on over. I like doing this, I really do. But obviously, I'm a channel, and I'm after really making it big time for this, because I know the perks that you get from it. If you earn a lot more money from it or whatever, you can put a lot more time into it because you've not got to worry about going out and doing this, whatever. You can just justify it. So figures are important to me, but it's not just about that. It might seem like it sometimes, but I have a heart. But either way, I've been Iru399. Hopefully you enjoyed today's breakdown. There will be another video coming out later on today at about 10 o'clock UK time, 11 o'clock in Europe, and I'd say about 5 or 6 o'clock in America. So thank you very much for watching once again, and I'll see you in a bit.